Once again, Nancy Pelosi and the leadership of the Democratic Party have exposed themselves as a disgrace, siding with anti-America and anti-Israel forces within their own party. This is what Pelosi recently said in response to Democratic Congresswoman Ilhan Omar's clarification after she equated the U.S. and Israel to Afghanistan, Hamas, and Taliban terrorist organizations.
Should any further action be taken against Representative Omar for her comments?
No.
Are you concerned
No, I
about
don't.
the divide it may cause?
No, I don't. I think that she clarified her remarks, and that was we accepted that, and she has a point that she wanted to make, and she has a right to make that point. There was some unease about how it was interpreted. She made her clarification.
Folks, as you know, social media censorship is growing. The best way to support our video work for Israel is to subscribe to our video newsletter on pulseofisrael.com and to share our videos. If you are already a subscriber, then thank you. Honestly, it is a disgrace that Pelosi and the House Democrats even asked Representative Ilhan Omar to clarify her recent comments comparing Israel and the United States to Hamas and the Taliban. It's as if they are totally oblivious to Ilhan Omar's years of anti-America and anti-Israel rhetoric, which she has made her views abundantly clear. Omar referred to the attacks of 9/11 as some people did something.
CARE was founded after 9/11 because they recognized that some people did something and that all of us were starting to lose access to our civil liberties.
Remember that? She then accused Jewish Americans of dual loyalty with a "it's all about the Benjamins" tweet. She wanted a Minnesota judge to show leniency to a man who tried to obtain fake passports to then go fight for ISIS. This is Ilhan Omar, folks. And Pelosi and the Democratic leadership know it. So why ask for clarification? Just call her out. Punish her. Now let's take a step back and walk through this whole extremely sad and telling episode with Ilhan Omar, the current one. Omar tweeted the following message about a question she asked Secretary of State Antony Blinken. Quote, "We must have the same level of accountability and justice for all victims of crimes against humanity. We have seen unthinkable atrocities committed by the United States, Hamas, Israel, Afghanistan, and the Taliban. I asked Blinken where people are supposed to go for justice." A group of Democrats then publicly called out Representative Omar for her horrifying anti-America and anti-Israel comment. Equating the U.S. and Israel to Hamas and the Taliban is as offensive as it is misguided, ignoring the differences between democracies governed by the rule of law and organizations that engage in terrorism, discredits one's intended argument, and reflects deep-seated prejudice. That's their tweet. That was honestly a ray of light from the sinking Democratic Party leadership. However, Ilhan Omar then doubled down with the following response. Quote, "It's shameful for colleagues who call me when they need my support to now put out a statement asking me for clarification and not just call. Oh, so sad. They didn't just call." She continues, "The Islamophobic tropes in this statement are offensive. The constant harassment and silencing from the signers of this letter is unbearable." Right? Everything's about her identity. Everything's about Islam. No, it's about you, Ilhan. Your comments. Former Democratic New York Assemblyman Dov Hikind summed up Representative Omar's despicable behavior as follows, and I quote, "Typical Ilhan Omar behavior in 3 acts. 1. Ilhan Omar says something hateful. 2. Ilhan gets called out for hate. 3. Ilhan charges her critics with Islamophobia. And the Democratic Party be like, rinse and repeat? Governments Ilhan has ever called out for unspeakable atrocities. Governments Ilhan has never called out for unspeakable atrocities. There are plenty." See a pattern? Omar's fellow anti-America, anti-Israel squad member Rashida Tlaib also got into the act, tweeting, I quote, "I'm tired of colleagues, both Democrat and Republican, demonizing Ilhan Omar. Their obsession with policing her is sick. She has the courage to call out human rights abuses no matter who is responsible. That's better than colleagues who look away if it serves their politics." End tweet by Rashida Tlaib. Tweeter Michelle Sabra responded with a great tweet of truth. Can't wait for the day you're both out of office. You are a stain on our democracy. Kudos, Michelle. You said it straight out, and all Americans need to say that. But Rashida Tlaib didn't stop there. She also tweeted the following. Quote, freedom of speech doesn't exist for Muslim women in Congress. The benefit of the doubt doesn't exist for Muslim women in Congress. House Democratic leadership should be ashamed of its relentless, exclusive tone policing of congresswomen of color. What? That's what they do. They go to the identity politics. Honestly, hearing a Muslim woman elected as a congresswoman into Washington, D.C. complain on Twitter to the world about not having freedom of speech is kind of ironic, no? They have total freedom of speech to say whatever horrific anti-America or anti-Israel lies they want to. And they have the right to be elected into the highest offices of the land in America, regardless of whatever their identities are. Yet all they can do is lie and try to generate sympathy with their lies and political politics. So I responded to Rashida Tlaib's tweet with a simple bit of truth of my own that most people don't pay attention to because it's much greater than just this issue. And I said, stop being a crybaby. That's what they are. Be a leader. You are just like the whole fake cause called Palestine. They are the biggest crybabies in the world. They never take responsibility for the results of their own actions, and then they cry to the world. That is not honor, because supposedly Islam is about an honor society. That is shameful. They all have shameful behavior being crybabies. So getting back to Ilhan Omar's anti-America and anti-Israel statement, here is her clarification that led Pelosi to actually drop the whole affair. Quote, on Monday, I asked Secretary of State Anthony Blinken about an ongoing international criminal court investigations. To be clear, the conversation was about accountability for specific incidents regarding those ICC cases, not a moral comparison between Hamas and the Taliban and the US and Israel. Quote, I was in no way equating terrorist organizations with democratic countries with well-established judicial systems. End quote from Ilhan Omar. Well, that's quite a surprising clarification. Let's just read Ilhan Omar's original statement again, and let's see if she in no way equates the US and Israel to terrorist organizations. And she wrote, we have seen unthinkable atrocities committed by the US, Hamas, Israel, Afghanistan, and the Taliban. And she captioned it as, we must have the same level of accountability and justice for all victims of crimes against humanity. That was her original post. Now, how does that sound to you? Is she equating, or is she not equating? Does her clarification make any sense? And if not, why did Pelosi drop the whole affair based on that additional bunch of lies from Ilhan Omar? The United States won't be a safer country until the Democratic leadership stands up to the anti-America and anti-Israel forces growing within its own party.
Pulse of Israel, frontline videos from the Holy Land. Support our work by donating today.